Hey everyone. So I've been away for quite a while. Haven't made a video in like about a year or so. Um, but I kind of had to leave and figure out some things about myself and grow as a person. But now I'm ready to continue again. And yeah, so on the last video, I kind of said that I wanted to talk about upgrades for the next one. I'll go ahead and do that, but I also wanted to get into like ways that you can increase your ability to remote view, or just raise your, it ties into raising your vibration in general. If everybody wants to take a deep breath. Okay, so upgrades. I guess when I first started realizing upgrades were taking place, I mean, I'd heard about it before, but when I first started realizing it was, I think it was like the first time that I put a crystal on my forehead while I was meditating. But what happened was I had a labradorite crystal. It's about this size. I actually have it over here. This is it. This is actually the first crystal that I ever got. It was gifted to me. Um, but I placed it on my forehead like this and meditated. But I could tell, I started remote viewing and seeing some different ETs. And all of a sudden it felt like an invisible wand of some sort, like a Star Trek scanner or something was passing over my third eye, and I could feel it, and it started like my forehead started getting all tingly where the crystal was, but then it moved down into my eyes and then like into the tops of my cheeks kind of, and I felt it passing over back and forth. And I think this was some sort of like chakra work that they were doing for me. But after that, I just felt more balanced. There's a lot of ways to get out of balance, which I experienced over the last year, but getting back into balance, it's always there for you. So when you get out of balance, I think it's just the pace at which you get back into balance, which constantly is decreasing. So you'll get out of whack, but you'll always get back, as long as you're listening to yourself and listening to what your body needs and whatnot. I think in the last video I talked about the ET that touched me on the shoulder and shot this like energy wave into my body. And I think that was definitely an upgrade that they gave me, where it was kind of like a DNA activation. But a lot of these upgrades, they're just increasing your frequency and vibration to the point at which your body needs at the time. So this energy wave that shot into my body, it's not really like they're going in like cell by cell and like upgrading my cells or whatever, but it just shoots it brings your body to a higher frequency and vibration to allow you to move on to the next step in your journey, so to speak. I guess another time I really noticed an upgrade was when I was at Contact in the Desert last year. Again, going back to vibration and frequency, when you're around all of these people that are vibrating at a higher frequency, that can help you reach that next level that you need to be at. So when I was at Contact in the Desert, I was sitting at one of the presentations, and all of a sudden, my throat started vibrating like really, really intensely. And I don't think it was ET. I think it was just being around other high vibrating humans that allowed for that to happen. And people that have told me what my aura color is, and I can see it sometimes, but it's blue. And if you probably know that your throat chakra is blue. So having my throat chakra like fully awakened, was awesome for me, because it felt like an energy transmuter or something. Like I would take, like I would inhale parts of my body that felt kind of drained, and I would try and inhale it and exhale it through my throat. And every time that would happen, it would make my throat vibrate even more. So I think it was kind of like a recycling of stagnant energy in my body. But yeah, after when I came back, I noticed, or contacted in the desert was in California. I live in Colorado. When I came back, um, I looked in the mirror and I noticed that my eyes had changed color. Like they were brighter, and it looked like they had also gained size a little bit. Like not so much like this way or this way, but like the curvature or whatever looked like it was more curved, and my pupils seemed to be more oval shaped than like circular, if that makes sense. So that was really cool. And after doing CE5 for a long time, you start to notice when the ETs are present, and it's just like little subtle light specks or light flashes out of the corners of your eye. And you can actually take in more light. I think it's at like a 40-degree angle from where you're directly looking, so that's why it's out of the corner of your eye. But when I got back from California, I noticed this even more. Something that happened to my eyes, it just allowed it to take in more light, I guess. So yeah, so like increasing your remote viewing ability, like I said before, it's just all about increasing your frequency, but also not just increasing your frequency and taking in a bunch of energy, but allowing that energy to flow through your body. Um, so uh, One thing that had happened to me recently was that I learned how to activate the Ankh, or in Egypt, you know, the symbol of the Ankh, it's like a cross with a loop at the top. But this is actually a symbol for your body and the energy that flows in your body. And you can take in energy and then channel it up into your throat chakra and send it out. You send it 90 degrees out the back of your neck. And then after doing this for a while, you start to feel the center of your face. It's like an energy channel of some sort where if you channel the energy right, you can feel it traveling down in the middle of your face. And a lot of Egyptologists, I think, have said that the Ankh and the sexual ankhing of your orgasm energy allowed the Egyptians to attain immortality, basically. I'm obviously not old enough to determine if that's the case, but we'll see. um, so yeah, letting that energy flow. There's also really big. If you can look up an energy channel chart. I think they're called meridians or nadis. But there's really big ones that go right along the side of your nose. And that was another really big step for me, being able to feel that energy channel, because these energy channels travel up your nose and go right into your third eye. So if you can feel these, it like sometimes I'll feel the pressure of my third eye being activated, but a little bit easier way to get into that is if you can feel these energy channels on the side of your nose, and if you can feel both, it travels up, and whether or not you're feeling it in your third eye or not, you are activating it because you're activating these energy channels. One way to do that is by ohming. So not on the first part of the ohm where you're going oh, but when you close your mouth, you can really feel all the vibration happening in your sinuses. And then if you can concentrate on finding these ones, that'll really open things up. And breathing is so important with energy work and movement of energy in your body, because I guess that's just how I found out how to do it, because I originally started breathing in and imagining just my energy draining into the ground when I was connected with the earth. And at first I was just like, oh, I'll just do this and imagine it's happening. But after a while of doing that while doing a CE5, I started to be able to feel energy like passing through me. And one thing that happened to me recently was that I started inhaling through this point in the back of my head. Maybe it might be my crown chakra. I haven't done enough work with it to determine if that's my crown chakra or if it's just my like connection with my higher self or something. But I started breathing through, like inhaling and imagining energy coming through the back of my head, and then also doing the breathing while and imagining energy going into my skull through my third eye, but also feeling these at the same time. And when I did that, it was like, oh my God, I got back to my true self like that. And yeah, I did that for probably like 30 minutes in my bed at night. And I started seeing through my third eye. Like my eyes were closed and I started seeing through the roof of my house and saw some being like flying over my house. It's pretty wild. But yeah, that's a very good way to get into the flow of energy in your body is just breathing. And if you can't feel it, just imagine it. And then after a while, you'll start to be able to feel it. And uh, I guess one way to describe it, if you haven't experienced it, is like the tingling. If you ever get a tingling sensation when you hear music, like a song that you love, and you can just inhale and feel all this tingling wave just flow through you. But again, it takes a lot of work and being consistent with doing meditations and whatnot. But yeah, thanks guys. I'll see you next time.